Hey everyone, just a heads up. Both characters share the name Tian, so I'll be addressing them similarly, just letting you know so there's no confusion. The head of the Lin family didn't deny the accusation and responded casually, I'm sorry, young Master Shen, my son is studying at the Southern Sky Martial Arts Academy. Jiang Ji, the Su family's son-in-law, is the guard commander of Xuanwu City, and his father is the prefect of New River County. Shen-lang's expression darkened. So, the Lin family plans to use me as a pawn to help your son succeed in his exams, gain favor, and later do business with the Su family. What a clever scheme. The head of the Su family, with anger in his eyes, shouted, Useless Shen-lang! You idled away in my household, flirted with the maids, and even dared to steal our expensive new formula. I've never seen anyone as despicable as you. Su Chenan, with tears streaming down her face, added, Shen-lang, I'm so disappointed in you. If you needed money, you could have asked me. Why did you resort to this? They appeared as victims, reporting the matter to the authorities. Esteemed officials, today Shen-lang stole our dye formula and tried to sell it, nearly causing us significant losses. Please seek justice for us. Su Chenan continued, pretending to defend Shen-lang. Father, don't do this. Give Shen-lang another chance. Shen-lang, tell the officials if you stole the formula because you couldn't accept being abandoned by me. If you confess now, we might overlook this moment of confusion. Shen-lang, with a grim expression, thought, if I confess, the Su family might not harm me on the spot to save face, but you underestimate me. He burst into laughter and challenged the Su family head. You claim I stole this gold and yellow dye, but where's your proof? You, Shen-lang, are ignorant and worthless. How could you develop a dye formula when my Su family has been perfecting yellow dye for decades? So you have no evidence, right? Shen-lang proposed a live competition. Esteemed officials, if I can produce a better golden yellow dye here, won't the truth be revealed? Su Chenan, still pretending, said, even though you stole the formula from us with some seriousness, you might create something better. Shen-lang smiled. Let's not just compare yellow, but purple too. The hardest color to dye isn't yellow, but purple, which requires 300 dye mollusks for just 1 gram. The Great Flame Dynasty hasn't mastered extracting purple from mollusks, using red and blue dyes instead, resulting in poor quality. Shen-lang continued, I, Shen-lang, can only use simple methods to make purple dye, but your Su family has many resources. Are you scared? The Su family agreed. If you produce better purple dye, we won't object. Not just objecting, the Su family head must apologize to me. Let's limit it to 3 hours. In 3 hours, we'll see who is superior. Officials, please witness this. Shen-lang re-entered the backyard, processing the litmus lichen he had prepared. By crushing and boiling the lichen with ash and urine,
now! Urinate, Christopher! Urinate!
He could produce vibrant purple dye. But Shen-lang aimed to create something beyond this era's knowledge. Watch me surpass the Su family with something unprecedented. 3 hours later, the Su family displayed their purple silk. The craftsman introduced it. Master, Miss, this is our new purple dye, extracted from a type of purple grass. Everyone was amazed. The color is purer and brighter. It's a significant improvement. Su Chenan had the craftsman show the golden silk formula to the officials. The craftsman presented the formula. Esteemed officials, my family has researched yellow dyes for generations using many materials, including Sephora japonica. Here are my original records. Su Chenan added, Chief Clerk Wang, this notebook from Craftsman Su's father shows old handwriting, hard to fake. The officials confirmed the notebook's age and believed Shen-lang stole the formula. As they were about to apprehend him, Shen-lang stepped out and glanced at the Su family's purple silk. Your family can produce good purple silk. Is this your confidence? He then presented his purple silk. Look at my purple silk. The color made everyone's eyes widen. Unlike the Su family's dull purple, mine is bright and pure. Shen-lang challenged them. Master Su, Su Chenan, surely my purple dye wasn't stolen from your family, right? This made Su Chenan uneasy. How does Shen-lang know about dyes now? Shen-lang then pulled out his trump card. Rainbow silk, dyed in red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. The officials were captivated by the stunning silk. Examination, marveling aloud at the colors. These colors are just too natural, too ingeniously beautiful. How did you manage this? As Shen-lang presented the rainbow silk, the head of the Su family was already speechless. Seizing the moment, Shen-lang immediately asked the officials for justice. Official Wang hesitated before turning to the Su family head and asking, "Can you confirm whether this purple dye and rainbow silk were stolen from your family by Shen-lang?" However, the Su family head, unable to face the situation, chose to leave in silence. Su Chenan, suppressing her anger, apologized to Shen-lang. "Sorry, due to some misunderstandings, we wronged you. Farewell." But in her mind, she was fuming. How dare he oppose a relative of the county prefect? Once I return, I must speak to Jiang Ji. We cannot allow any officials hostile to the Su family to remain in Xuanwu City. And that Shen-lang, how did he suddenly master so many dyeing techniques?
Of course he is. He's a genius.
As Shen-lang left the brocade and embroidery pavilion, Su Chenan appeared before him, her expression tinged with sadness. "Shen-lang, I underestimated you before. I didn't expect you to learn dyeing for me. You really put in the effort. Why didn't you tell me before?" she asked, her voice laced with a mix of regret and manipulation. "You can come back to the Su family if you contribute 10 gold coins every month." Shen-lang was unimpressed. "You, Su Chenan, are too narcissistic. Do you think I, Shen-lang, would learn dyeing for you? The foolish Shen-lang from before might have done such a thing, but not me." Su Chenan, undeterred, continued, "As long as you hand over the purple and rainbow dye formulas, I can prepare the best dyeing room for you. You can devote yourself to the craft and become an outstanding artisan. Don't you love me? Aren't you willing to do everything for me? This way, you can help me." Shen-lang completely ignored her, thinking, "I could despise and trample on you, yet you would still adore me as usual. When I'm useless, I'm kicked out, but when I'm valuable, I'm hurried back to be a beast of burden. What kind of persona is this?" Unexpectedly, Su Chenan's next words struck a chord. "Don't forget, you still owe Tianhong 1,000 gold coins," she said, her eyes gleaming with malice. Shen-lang's pupils narrowed. "How do you know about the 1,000 gold coins?" he demanded. Su Chenan replied coldly, "If the Su family doesn't see the purple and rainbow dye formulas before dark today, Shen-lang, you know what will happen." Shen-lang realized the gravity of the situation. Tianhong must have already told the Su family everything. Even if I hand over the gold coins, it's meaningless. The Black Clothes Gang and the Su family will definitely make their move tonight, threatening my family's lives to force me to hand over the formulas. And even if I do, unless I spend my life as a servant for the Su family, my family won't have peace. I must solve this problem once and for all. Just then, the sound of intense hoofbeats filled the air. Shen-lang pushed through the crowd to see a cavalry troop approaching, led by none other than Jean Mulan. His heart swelled with hope. "Wife, you saved me once 3 years ago. How about saving me again and taking me home?" The galloping horse brushed past Shen-lang, knocking him to the ground. Seeing that she had hit someone, Jean Mulan immediately dismounted and approached him. Astonished by his appearance, she exclaimed, "What a handsome man! And he seems somewhat familiar." She placed her jade hand near Shen-lang's nostrils to check his breathing. "His breathing is steady. The injury isn't too severe." Then, with kindness in her heart, Jean Mulan ordered her men, "Take him back to the Count's mansion for treatment. We cannot let innocent civilians die under our hooves." Shen-lang sighed in relief, thinking, "The moment to decide my fate has arrived. Whether I can save the Shen family, eliminate the Su family and Tianhong, and enjoy a life of luxury and honor depends on my performance from now on." The scene shifted to the Xuanwu City Count's mansion, located in a castle estate about 20 miles from Xuanwu City. Despite the wealth of the Su family, their residence was nothing compared to the grandeur of the Count's mansion, which had been home to the Jean family for centuries, with lands once spanning over 5,000 square kilometers. Inside the Count's mansion's council hall, Jean Mulan, dressed in casual attire, paid her respects to her parents, Xuanwu City Count Ginga and Countess Su. Jean Mulan has returned. "How was the martial demonstration, Princess?" asked Count Ginga. Jean Mulan replied with a fist salute, "Father, the martial demonstration went well. We did not disgrace the Jean family. However, our family is in a precarious situation." She continued, "My brother is not up to the task. The Yuo state has begun stripping nobility of their military rights." Jean Mulan responded, Please rest assured, Father, with your daughter here, our Xuanwu City Count's mansion will not fall. I will remain unmarried for life, stay at home to assist my brother, and protect our Jin family's century-old foundation. Count Ginga sighed. Alas, but unfortunately, your brother Jin Mutong is incompetent. At that moment, a servant entered the hall and reported, Master, there is someone asking to see you. It's the young man Miss brought back today, saying he has urgent matters to report to the Count about Mrs. Marriage. Count Ginga's interest was piqued. I heard Jean Mulan's cavalry injured a young man. Could it be him? And it's about a marriage? Bring him to see me. A moment later, Shen-lang was brought into the hall. After paying his respects to Count Ginga, he got straight to the point. I have heard that the Shu family wishes to propose a marriage. Shu Honua wants to marry Miss Jean Mulan. As he spoke, both Jean Mulan's and Count Ginga's expressions changed dramatically. The Shu family is a top-tier power in the Yue state, not only related by marriage to the sovereign, but also the family of the governor of the southern Journey province and the general pacifying the south. Count Ginga questioned Shen-lang. This matter is confidential. Even I was unaware. How did you come to know of it? Shen-lang responded, Previously, I was a live-in son-in-law at the Su family. Su Chenan and her new fiancé Zhang Qi thought of me as a fool, so they discussed this matter openly in front of me. At the same time, a servant informed Count Ginga about Shen-lang's background. Just 2 days ago, the live-in son-in-law Shen-lang was caught stealing family valuables and harassing maids, which is why he was expelled from the Su family. Hearing this, Count Ginga became skeptical. This young man's theft and harassment might be false, but his entry into the Su family purely out of vanity and his being a lazy good-for-nothing who relies on his looks are likely true. However, there was no time to lecture him now. It was better to first verify the truth of this intelligence. So Count Ginga ordered someone to investigate, immediately dispatching several teams to scout along all the official roads. If anyone from the Shu family is spotted, report back immediately, he instructed. Although Count Ginga had a poor impression of Shen-lang, he still said, Young man, I don't think highly of you, but the information you've provided is extremely important. I will surely reward you handsomely. Tell me, what do you want? As long as it doesn't violate national laws or morals, I can grant it. Shen-lang's opinion of the Count improved instantly. That's generous. Even before verifying the information, you're promising a big reward, allowing me to ask for anything. This means just one word from me and the Su family wouldn't dare touch me. Moreover, I could cause them quite some trouble. But what I want isn't just for them not to dare touch me. What I really want is... At this point, Shen-lang knelt with a fist salute. Count, please allow me to stay at the Count's mansion and give me a... job. Of course, Shen-lang didn't actually want to work. He wanted the opportunity to get close to Jean Mulan. As long as he could stay at the Count's mansion, he could find a way to get close to Jean Mulan, then attract the goddess with his charm. Father Jean turned and agreed, saying, From now on, you will study with the Crown Prince. Your parents may have spoiled you, but here at the Count's mansion, we will not. We will make sure you become a talented individual. At that moment, a subordinate hurriedly ran over, exclaiming, Master, there's trouble. The Shu family's General Shu Len, who is responsible for pacifying the South, arrived at New River City last night and is now heading toward Xuanwu City. Everyone was shocked upon hearing this, especially Shen-lang, who was particularly astonished. How could the Shu family act so quickly? I, Shen-lang, need time to make an impression and be noticed. Now, forget about half a month. Not even 3 days are left. No, perhaps not even 1 day. I might only have 2 to 3 hours left, and my goddess might belong to someone else. The Su family, being such a powerful entity, was not one that the Count's mansion could afford to offend. In other words, they couldn't refuse the proposal. Jean Mulan even considered disfiguring herself to make the Shu family give up the idea of proposing. However, Father Jean intervened, taking the knife away. I must protect our family's century-old foundation, but more importantly, I must protect my daughter. Even if you disfigured yourself, the Shu family would still propose to you unless you get married today, taking in a husband, Var, which would make it impossible for the Su family to proceed. Yet Father Jean was still reluctant to sacrifice his daughter's happiness. Mulan, Shuang is a promising man and would make an excellent husband. I cannot sacrifice your happiness for the sake of family interests. Would you reconsider? Jean Mulan knelt down and said, Father, contributing to the family is my greatest happiness. My brother may not be able to uphold our ancestral legacy, so I will not marry out. Seeing this, Father Jean sighed deeply and agreed to the marriage, writing down 5 names and ordering his men to invite these individuals to the mansion for John Mulan to choose from. Shen-lang, eager not to let his goddess fall into someone else's arms, quickly said, Count, Miss Mulan, may I join the competition too? Then Shen-lang stepped forward to Jean Mulan and said passionately, Miss Mulan, I also want to marry you. This made Father Jean quite angry. What's this fool joining in the fun for? But Mother Jean quickly comforted her husband, saying, Husband, don't be angry. We've heard that Shen-lang is not all there mentally, and he's just a child. Why should we stoop to his level? Someone send this fool back home and give him 10 gold coins, but make sure to give them to his parents, not him. We'll send for him tomorrow to come to the mansion for study and discipline. Unexpectedly, Jean Mulan's eyes lit up. Second fool, it's you. Shen-lang was confused. Second fool, what's that? It turned out that Shen-lang had a nickname in the village, Second Fool, because there was also a big fool in the village, making them the fool duo. After Jean Mulan had encountered Shen-lang, the name she learned for him was Second Fool. Since then, Jean Mulan had looked at him as if he were a child. Recent events had left Mulan disillusioned with the adult world's deceit and appreciative of children's innocence. This led Jean Mulan to view Shen-lang with a childlike innocence and agree to let him participate in the competition for her suitor. Seeing this, Father Ji didn't say much more. What am I worried about? Mulan is just being kind-hearted by including him on the list. It's impossible for her to choose him. Why am I getting worked up over nothing? But Shen-lang was full of confidence. Second fool it is then, as long as Jean Mulan remembers me, getting on the list of suitors is the first step to victory. Now it's my time, Shen-lang, to sweep the board. 2 hours later, 6 men were brought into 6 different study rooms to be personally interviewed by Jean Mulan for selection. Time was pressing, and Jean Mulan wanted to finalize her choice by noon and get married that evening. The first candidate was none other than Chief Clerk Wang Lan. At this moment, he was brimming with excitement. Here it comes. Soon, I will become Mulan's husband. Soon, I will share a bed with this incredibly beautiful woman. Wang Lan had known Jean Mulan for over a decade and, as a literate man of achievements, was considered a leading candidate among the suitors. Enchanted by Jean Mulan since childhood, he had given up his focus on home studies for the imperial examinations to run all the way to New River County to become a chief clerk, all for the sake of being closer to her. Jean Mulan asked Wang Lan, What can you bring to me in the future? Thinking to himself that he understood Mulan well, especially her valuing the century-old foundation of the Count's mansion, Wang Lan confidently said, After we marry, I will go on to pass the imperial examinations. From then on, with you handling military affairs and me in charge of the civil side, we will surely make the Xuanwu City Count's mansion even more prosperous and ensure the Jean family's legacy flourishes and is passed down through generations. Jean Mulan didn't say much in response, only offering a thank you, cousin, before turning and leaving. Afterward, Jean Mulan posed the same question to the other 4 men. The answers she received were more or less similar to Wang Lan's. After hearing from 5 candidates, Jean Mulan went to Shen-lang's room last. She asked him the same question. Shen-lang, if you were to join the Count's mansion, what could you bring to me in the future? Shen-lang replied, What can I bring? That would be a lot. First off, my eyes are quite sharp. Mulan, if your training causes a blockage in your meridians, I know where to unblock them.
Wink, wink!
I can also improve the Count's mansion's steel smelting level and enhance the Jean family's private army's armament level. I could even be a part-time gynecologist. If Mulan, you have pain during those days of the month, I can help treat it. But these things, while possibly interesting to Jean Mulan, couldn't truly move her. However, the next moment, Shen-lang said word by word, What I can give you is freedom. You can do anything as long as you don't steal men. The conservative Jean Moulin, upon hearing such a thing as stealing men, was both embarrassed and angry, furiously scolding, truly a second fool without a bit of sense. Little did she know, Shen-lang's lips curled up in a smile. Not a bit of cleverness. My titanium alloy dog eyes have seen through your little schemes. Don't underestimate your future husband. Afterward, Jean Moulin returned to the hall to inform her parents. Father, mother, I have made my choice.
Well, that was fast.
Father Jean and Mother Jean felt a sense of relief. It hasn't even been a quarter of an hour, so quickly. Moulin wouldn't make a hasty decision. Who is it, Wang Lan or Moy? Once the choice is made, I will immediately send out teams to spread the wedding invitations, and the wedding will be tonight. Under their expectant gaze, Jean Moulin hesitated for a moment, then with a slight blush said, "The husband I have chosen is Shen-lang." This statement shocked Father Jean. "Moulin, have you lost your mind? With so many outstanding candidates, you chose Shen-lang?" Jean Moulin calmly explained her reasoning. "Father, the 3 young men from our count's mansion are my subordinates, and I cannot accept them. While Wang Lan and Moy are exceptional, one says he wants to compliment me in managing the count's mansion through literature and martial arts, and the other claims his martial prowess is unmatched and wants to lead the count's mansion's army to achieve great merit." Father Jean, puzzled, asked, "Moulin, isn't that very good?" "Father, if you were still here, it wouldn't be a problem. But what if one day you're not? What if my husband harbors ambitions for the count's mansion's power? What would happen to me? What about my brother?" Shen-lang gave me hope. His answer was to give me the freedom to do anything as long as I don't betray him. With him as my husband, our Jean family's legacy will surely be secure. Please, Father, give your consent. Father Jean still had reservations about Shen-lang's reputation, but Moulin argued that this might actually be an advantage. "If I marry too well, the Shu family will certainly be uneasy. But if I marry someone with a less than stellar reputation, they might be less concerned. Besides, Shen-lang is also very charming." Despite her arguments, her parents still felt conflicted, but found themselves unable to change the situation. Father Jean, frustrated, expressed his disappointment by striking a wall and blaming his son for lacking ambition. His frustration was so intense that he ordered a whip, intending to take out his anger on his own son. Mother Jean, though concerned, didn't stop him and even considered participating. At this moment, Shen-lang received a message from Jin Zhang. "Master Shen, please come to the guest room with me. I will go to fetch your family shortly." Shen-lang couldn't help but smirk, thinking, I've finally become the unexpected son-in-law. Shu family, Black Clothes Gang, watch out. Revenge is coming. If I don't bring you down, my name isn't Shen. But the most pressing matter was to first ensure the safety of his parents and brother. Shen-lang stopped Jin Zhang and said, "Steward Jin, can you fetch my parents as soon as possible? Someone is plotting against my family." Jin Zhang's expression suddenly turned serious. There are actually people in Xuanwu City who dare to harm Master Shen's family? Regardless of his reputation, Shen-lang is still our Count's mansion's master. Understood. I will ensure your family's safety, Master Shen. Please rest and prepare for the wedding ceremony tonight. Meanwhile, Tianheng had instructed his men to capture Shen-lang's family with a menacing ultimatum depending on whether or not they cooperated. The underground and lawful factions of Xuanwu City were both stirred into action because of Shen-lang. The righteous faction received wedding invitations, while the underground faction sought to target Shen-lang's entire family. However, they all shared one commonality: they did not know Shen-lang was to marry Jean Moulin. So when the Jean family suddenly announced Jean Moulin's wedding and quickly began the ceremony, it caused a stir across Xuanwu City, though it didn't deter Tianheng's plans. Tianheng led his men to breach the gates of the Shen family, but the scene inside caught them off guard. Instead of fleeing, the Shen family stood their ground, ready to defend themselves. This only fueled Tianheng's determination. Just as he was about to strike, he felt a powerful presence approaching. The intimidating aura immobilized him, and when Tianheng saw who it was, he was shocked to recognize Jin Zhang from the Xuanwu City Count's mansion. This realization made him break out in a cold sweat, wondering, why would someone from the Count's mansion be here? What's their connection to Shen-lang? Tianheng was forced to explain, "By the order of the city lord, we are arresting those accused of evading taxes by concealing their lands. Everyone else must leave immediately." Jin Zhang responded calmly but firmly, "Normally, we wouldn't interfere with the city lord's affairs, but our master has invited Mr. Shen and his family to a wedding. If I don't bring them back, I can't fulfill my duties. Could you make an exception?" Tianheng asked, "May I know who your excellency is?" Jin Zhang revealed his identity. Upon hearing this, Tianheng immediately backed down. "Since the Count's mansion has made a request, I dare not interfere. I will report back to the city lord." Jin Zhang then instructed, "Thank you. Someone please escort Mr. Shen, Mrs. Shen, and young Master Shen onto the sedan." A group of fully armed Jin family soldiers then entered and escorted Shen-lang's family away. If you enjoyed my narration and found that the images align well with the story, I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Your support means a lot. Thank you. Tianheng could only watch helplessly as the people from the Count's mansion took the Shen family away. After Jin Zhang and the others left, Tianheng nearly collapsed from fear. A subordinate, puzzled, asked, "Master Tianheng, what's going on? We just let their family of 3 go like that? I'm afraid the boss will be furious." Tianheng turned back and said, "Do you know who those people were just now?" That was Jian Zhang from the Xuanwu City Count's mansion, a trusted follower of the Lord Count. This is all Shen-lang's doing. You all better hope his connection with the Count's mansion isn't deep. Otherwise, what, Master Tianheng? The subordinate asked. Otherwise, everyone might as well go home and say their goodbyes to their parents, spouses, and children. Let's go back and report to our foster father. If something big is about to happen, we need to prepare an escape plan. We work for these people. They can't just abandon us. Shen-lang is very clever. If we want to save ourselves, we need to act fast. Once he makes his move, it'll be too late. Back at the Black Clothes gang, when Tianheng returned to report, Tianheng was in a foul mood. He roared, "If there's not a good reason, I'll make you regret it." Tianheng hurriedly explained, "Jin Zhang from the Count's mansion took Shen-lang's parents and brother away with a dozen soldiers, saying they were going to the Count's mansion for a wedding." A shock went through Tianheng. "The Count's mansion's daughter is getting married today. I heard they've taken in a son-in-law." Tianheng was greatly surprised. "No, it's impossible, absolutely impossible." "I also find it hard to believe," Tianheng replied. "How could someone as insignificant as Shen-lang ever be connected to the Count's mansion?" "Foster father, Shen-lang is extremely clever and should not be underestimated. We need to be proactive about this. I'll head into the city right away." Half an hour later, within the Lin family's secret chamber, the head of the Lin family was shocked upon hearing the news. "It's impossible, absolutely impossible. Shen-lang is known for being worthless. Does the Count's mansion have no regard for their reputation?" Tianheng asked. "Master Lin, did Lord Count mention who the groom is when he suddenly sent out wedding invitations today?" The head of the Lin family shook his head. "No, but it absolutely cannot be Shen-lang. Even if the sun rose from the west, it wouldn't be possible. I've received an invitation to the wedding tonight. I'll go and see for myself. If the Count's mansion's son-in-law is truly Shen-lang, we better prepare in advance." Tianheng said, "I'll also go. Though I don't have an invitation, the Xuanwu City Count surely won't turn away guests and risk losing face." Meanwhile, inside the Xuanwu City Count's mansion, renowned merchants and high-ranking officials of Xuanwu City came to witness the ceremony, including Su Chanan and Zhang Ji. With the arrival of the Count and his wife, the master of ceremonies loudly announced, "The groom has arrived." Immediately, a large red sedan was carried in, and the groom, wearing a mask, slowly stepped out from it. With just a gesture of raising his hand, the expressions of Su Chanan and others changed dramatically. This familiar figure, they were almost certain it was Shen-lang. As Shen-lang stepped toward Jean Mulan, it signified that from this moment on, he would rise to a new level. When Jean Mulan appeared, her silver dress perfectly accentuated her stunning figure. The master of ceremonies continued to shout, "The auspicious moment has arrived. Bow to heaven and earth to honor the heavenly couple. May your union last forever. Bow to the high hall to honor the parents whose kindness is as deep as the ocean and as strong as a mountain. The couple bows to each other, wishing you a heart that beats as one forever. After the solemn yet brief ceremony, they were about to be led to the bridal chamber, but suddenly loud laughter interrupted the proceedings. The person was none other than the city lord of Xuanwu City. He said, "Lord Count, although tradition dictates that the groom reveals his face in the bridal chamber, I am curious to see what kind of exceptional man is worthy of Miss Mulan. Could you satisfy my curiosity?" The Count was about to refuse, but then another uninvited guest arrived. This person was the leader of the Shu family, General Shu Len, who had come to propose marriage earlier. "Xuanwu City Count, you lack hospitality. You didn't inform me of my niece's wedding. Had I not been in Xuanwu City on official business, would I have missed it? What kind of young talent is worthy of my niece Mulan? Reveal your face and let us see." At this moment, the guests around them also started to chant for the unveiling. The couple looked at each other and agreed to remove the mask. The next second, Shen-lang took off his mask, revealing his extraordinary face, prompting a moment of astonishment among those present. Tianhong's eyes widened, followed by a chill that spread over his entire body. But the most shocked were Su Chenan and Zhang Ji. Who is Jean Mulan, and who is Shen-lang? How could the high-standing Xuanwu City Count ever choose someone with such a reputation as a son-in-law? Zhang Ji was overwhelmed with jealousy. The Jean Mulan whom even I dared not dream of being with is actually marrying Shen-lang, this man I thought was worthless. Suddenly, Zhang Ji burst into laughter, drawing all eyes in the room toward him. He pointed at the couple and challenged, "Miss Jean Mulan, this wedding of yours is a joke, isn't it? That Shen-lang is clearly someone who doesn't even know his place. Miss Mulan, how could you possibly be interested in such a person?" Zhang Ji's words were echoed by Shen-lang's classmate Yin Zhong, who, eager to align himself with Zhang Ji, also stepped forward to accuse, "He's not just low in status, he's completely unsuitable." Shen-lang confronted Yan Shang, saying, "Yan Shang, you call me a fool, but do you have any proof?" Yan Shang sneered, "Ha, you've been studying for 10 years and still can't recognize 1,000 characters. Isn't that proof enough? Here, I'll write a few characters. If you can recognize them, I won't call you a fool. But if you can't, then you are. How about that?" He then ordered someone to bring over a brush, ink, paper, and an inkstone. With a broad stroke, he wrote down 3 characters and then looked at Shen-lang with contempt. "If you can recognize these, then you're not a fool." Everyone around expected Shen-lang to embarrass himself, as the characters were quite obscure. Indeed, Shen-lang didn't recognize them at first glance, but he had a secret advantage, a modern knowledge base that had traveled through time with him, containing dictionaries and more. All he needed to do was follow the annotations. Shen-lang read out the annotations word by word and even explained the origin of each character. After he finished, Yan Shang was left stunned. Shen-lang is supposed to be an idiot. How does he know so much? Shen-lang then turned to Lord Zhang and said, "Lord Zhang, you are knowledgeable and skilled in both letters and arms, and also Yan Shang's teacher. Did I read those 3 characters correctly?" Zhang Yuan was silent for a moment, then closed his eyes and replied, "You did." At his words, the crowd gasped in astonishment. How could this be possible? Shen-lang then suggested writing a few characters for Yan Shang to recognize. He wrote down several dozen characters on the paper. Yan Shang's eyes widened in confusion as he tried to read them, but he could only recognize a few. Struggling, he read them out loud. "I am a fool." As soon as he realized what he had said, it dawned on him that he had fallen into Shen-lang's trap, and the guests burst into laughter. Even Jean Mulan smiled lightly as Yan Shang made a fool of himself. Seeing his student embarrassed, Zhang Yuan stood up and said, "It seems Master Shen is quite proficient in obscure characters. I have an ancient text here. I wonder if Master Shen could enlighten me?" The atmosphere in the room became electric. The student had been humiliated, and now the teacher was stepping in. Shen-lang remained unfazed. "Since Lord Zhang wants to test me, I'll give it a try." Zhang Yuan wrote down a character, and Shen-lang, along with Jean Mulan, fell silent. Seeing Shen-lang hesitate, Yinshang jumped in to mock him again. "Ha! Shen-lang, you don't recognize this character, do you?" Shen-lang then asked Lord Zhang. If I'm not mistaken, you also don't know how to pronounce this character, do you? You must have deduced its meaning from the context of the text, but its pronunciation remains unknown. Right? Indeed, but understanding the meaning is more important than knowing the pronunciation, isn't it? Replied Zhang Yuan. Shen-lang smiled. It's fortunate then that I happen to know how to pronounce it. Thinking to himself, I'll pronounce it however I like. Yin Shang was taken aback. Impossible. My teacher said that this character's pronunciation can only be inferred from the context of the text, so it's impossible for anyone to know how it's pronounced. Seeing how stubborn Yin Shang was, Shen-lang seized the opportunity to make a bet. If I know how to pronounce this character and also know its meaning, how about you slap yourself? Yin Shang countered. And what if you don't know or get it wrong? Then I'll slap myself, Shen-lang replied confidently. As soon as the words were spoken, Yin Shang clapped his hands and agreed. Let everyone bear witness. Zhang Yuan did not stop the bet, as opposing the Count's mansion wouldn't have been wise. Then Shen-lang boldly pointed out, this character is pronounced like this, and its meaning is related to thorn. Hearing this, Zhang Yuan was immediately startled, showing an incredulous expression. This is an ancient text. How does he know that? Seeing his teacher's reaction, Yin Shang quickly asked, Master, he's making this up, right? Zhang Yuan was caught in a dilemma. I could deny Shen-lang's answer, but others have studied that text too. If word gets out, my reputation could be damaged. I have no choice but to tell the truth. Yin Shang, you have only yourself to blame for being so overconfident. With this thought, he immediately changed his tone and said, Master Shen truly has a deep understanding of characters. Such a promising young talent. Hearing Zhang Yuan's acknowledgement, the room buzzed with surprise. Was Shen-lang really that knowledgeable? Even Jean Mulan had not expected her husband to possess such profound knowledge. Meanwhile, Yin Shang was terrified. Now, shouldn't Yin the great scholar fulfill his promise? Shen-lang asked with a smile. Hearing this, Yin Shang immediately looked to his teacher for help, but Zhang Yuan showed no intention of intervening. Seeing no way out, Yin Shang, with a twisted expression, said, Shen-lang, I will remember this day, and then gave himself a loud slap. Shen-lang smiled with satisfaction, feeling immensely gratified. At that moment, Lord Jin asked Shen-lang to take Jean Mulan to meet his parents. Just as they were about to leave, Shulen stopped them. Not bad, young man. I'll remember you. The underlying threat in his words was clear, but Shen-lang was unfazed. Thank you, Lord Shu, for your kind words. Shen-lang's parents, worried they might embarrass their son, sat reserved in the back hall, even reluctant to wear the new clothes sent by the Count's mansion for fear of damaging them. Upon entering, Shen-lang immediately knelt down, with Jean Mulan following suit, saying, Your daughter-in-law pays her respects to her father-in-law and mother-in-law. Despite Shen-lang's parents' humble status, there wasn't a hint of hesitation or reluctance in Jean Mulan's actions. Shen-lang's mother quickly came forward to help them up, saying, This is the princess of the city, after all. Mulan also thanked her mother-in-law warmly. Seeing this scene, Shen-lang couldn't help but think, she truly is my goddess, beautiful inside and out. After a round of pleasant conversation in the back hall and sharing dinner, Shen's family excused themselves early. Before leaving, his brother couldn't resist teasingly reminding Shen-lang, a night in spring is worth 1,000 gold. Once everything was settled, Jean Mulan gently pushed open the door. As the stunning beauty walked toward him, Shen-lang felt as though he were in a dream. She's so beautiful. Am I dreaming? I can't believe I actually married her. Jean Mulan, with a shy expression, said, Your performance today was very different from what the rumors suggested. Unable to disclose the truth about his transgression, Shen-lang simply laughed and said, I had a serious illness at the Su family, almost like I died and came back to life. Suddenly, my mind became clear. Jean Mulan, feeling a twinge of guilt, responded, Shen-lang, there are some things I need to be honest about. I never intended to marry, dedicating myself entirely to my family. It was only due to the pressure from the Shu family that I had to take a husband. We are husband and wife in name, and that won't change, but as for the duties of husband and wife, I'm sorry, I cannot fulfill them. Shen-lang thought to himself, Of course. How could a proud woman like Mulan easily share a bed with a man? To truly be with her, I must first win her heart. He then said, I understand. Jean Moulin stood up and said, "You've been wronged, husband, but tonight is your wedding night, and I cannot let you spend it alone in an empty room. Little Bing, come in." A shy young girl walked in, Jean Moulin's personal maid, just 18 years old. When Shen-lang saw Little Bing, his eyes widened. "I didn't expect my goddess to arrange everything so thoughtfully." At that moment, Shen-lang was overjoyed inside, but still pretended to be concerned. "Is this really okay?" But Mulan insisted on not letting Shen-lang's life be delayed because of her own reasons, leaving Little Bing behind. She even instructed Shen-lang to hurry up and have a child to give an explanation to his parents. After a moment, Shen-lang dropped his gentlemanly pretense, opened his arms wide, and said, "Since my wife has arranged this with such care, I shall respectfully comply. A night in spring is worth 1,000 gold. Help me undress." Upon hearing these words, both were shocked. Jean Moulin thought, could this man be a libertine? But she still courteously closed the door for them. After Mulan left, Little Bing stood trembling in front of Shen-lang and then began to cry uncontrollably. Seeing her crying, gasping for breath with tears and sobs, Shen-lang's heart sank. Jean Moulin doesn't care for me, and now even a maid looks down on me. He then waved his hand and said, "If you don't want to, just go." Hearing Shen-lang tell her to leave, Little Bing fled from the room as quickly as she could. Shen-lang watched in silence. Despite being handsome, he reminded himself that he had married into the Jean family to protect his own family. He shouldn't be greedy. With this thought, Shen-lang lay down and fell asleep peacefully. The next morning, Shen-lang and Jean Moulin were having breakfast together, like an ordinary couple planning their day. Little Bing was serving them as if nothing had happened the night before. "Husband, I wonder what your thoughts and goals are for the future?" Jean Moulin asked. However, Shen-lang simply answered, "No goals," while thinking to himself, "My goal was to marry into a wealthy family and live a comfortable life. I've already achieved that." Jean Moulin, reflecting on Shen-lang's performance at their wedding, believed he must have grand ambitions and goals, which left her puzzled. When Shen-lang mentioned yesterday's events, he remembered he did have one goal, to bring down the Shu family and make Shu-chan beg for mercy. Hearing this, Mulan was utterly speechless, thinking, where's the grand ambition? The focus on revenge really dampens the generosity. Jean Moulin could only offer some pastries and say, "Husband, perhaps you should have some more pastries. The Shu family has a marriage alliance with the Zhang family, and they have the backing of the Shu family. It's not easy for our count's mansion to take action against them." Shen-lang picked up a pastry with a mischievous grin and asked, "Then can I start by dealing with Tianhang?" Mulan shook her head. "I'm afraid that's not possible either. Tianhang is under the jurisdiction of the Xuanwu city lord and has ties with the Jin family. If our count's mansion acts against him, it would be akin to turning against the city lord." Hearing Mulan's reply, Shen-lang grew anxious. "Isn't the count's mansion very powerful? Why can't we do anything?" Then, as the young master of the count's mansion, "I'll go slap Tianhang's face. Surely that's fine, right?" Once Mulan agreed, Shen-lang quickly stood up, and before she could react, he was already running to the door. "Husband, are you in such a hurry to seek revenge? Don't you have time to talk more with your new wife?" Mulan called after him, but Shen-lang was already gone. After his impressive performance at the wedding, everyone in the count's mansion began to see Shen-lang in a new light. With Mulan's permission, Shen-lang prepared to teach Tianhang a lesson, but first he followed tradition by going to the count's mansion to pay respects to the count and his wife with tea. The count was very pleased with Shen-lang's behavior during the wedding and had softened his attitude. He inquired about Shen-lang's plans for the day. "My parents raised me with great care, and now that I've married into the count's mansion, I feel somewhat undutiful. Today, I wish to return home to spend time with them and show my filial piety," Shen-lang said, using this as a reason to request leave. The count, deeply moved, exclaimed, "Filial piety comes first. It's rare to see such devotion." He then ordered 2 gifts to be prepared and sent to Shen-lang's parents on his behalf. Afterward, Shen-lang respectfully thanked his in-laws and walked toward the door, with the count and his wife very satisfied with his manners. Lady Jean also praised him, and the count thought that Jean Moulin's choice of son-in-law showed great foresight, contrary to the rumors. Leaving the Count's mansion, Shen-lang called out to the guards, "Prepare the carriage. I'm going home. And when we pass by the Black Clothes gang, let's go straight in. I want to have a word with Tian-hang." Suddenly, Shen-lang caught sight of a majestic horse nearby and immediately had an idea. If I want to impress, why not ride a handsome horse in a dashing manner? But 2 minutes later, the guards watched in disbelief as Shen-lang struggled to mount the horse, utterly speechless. Our young master really is hopeless, they thought as Shen-lang fell off the horse. Getting up and straightening himself, Shen-lang said, "I think the sun is quite strong today. Let's take the carriage back instead." The guards, exasperated, could only agree. Half an hour later, Shen-lang's carriage, escorted by 2 guards, sped into the Black Clothes Gang's territory. The guards on the city tower, seeing someone daring to enter the Black Clothes Gang, immediately prepared to release arrows. A quick-thinking guard stopped them. "Don't shoot. That's a carriage from the Count's mansion. Do you want to lose your lives? Hurry up and notify the leader." As the carriage halted, Shen-lang arrogantly stepped down. "Leader Tian, I hope you're well," he called out. Tian-hang, having received the news, had already gathered his men in the courtyard to welcome them. "Ha ha! Master Shen, you could have sent someone. Why trouble yourself to come in person?" Tian-hang said, laughing as he walked toward Shen-lang with open arms. But inwardly, he was seething. Just married last night, and today he comes knocking on our door. What a petty move. He then invited Shen-lang inside for tea. After they sat down, Shen-lang got straight to the point. "I'm here today for the 1,000 gold coins. Not repaying debts is dishonorable." Tian-hang burst into laughter, then took out the IOU Shen-lang had signed, called for a brazier, and burned the IOU to ashes in front of Shen-lang, smiling slyly. "What 1,000 gold coin debt? There's no such thing." Seeing the IOU destroyed, Shen-lang immediately changed his tone. "Leader Tian, you owe me 1,000 gold coins, and now you've burned the IOU. Without evidence, others might think I'm here to extort money from you."
You didn't expect that, did you?
Tian-hang was instantly on edge. What is Shen-lang playing at? He wondered. Shen-lang pointed at Tian-hang and said, "So, Leader Tian, are you planning to destroy the IOU and not pay up?" At this moment, Tian-hang internally cursed Shen-lang's ancestors. "In all my years, I've never met someone as shameless as you." Taking a deep breath to calm himself, Tian-hang put on a bright smile and said, "Oh, my memory must be failing me. I might forget to repay others, but I must repay Master Shen." He then ordered someone to bring a chest of gold coins. Shortly after, a hefty chest of gold coins was placed in front of Shen-lang. Yet, Shen-lang, looking at the gold coins, suddenly said with a mischievous smile, "Since Leader Tian is being so straightforward, and we are all acquaintances, I'll forget about the interest." Seeing this, Tian-hang continued to suppress his anger and slapped 100 gold coins on the table. "Brothers should settle accounts clearly. Here are 100 gold coins as interest. Please accept them." At this moment, Shen-lang silently picked up his cup to drink tea, while Tian-hang quietly watched him, wondering what trick he was planning next. After a tense standoff, Tian-hang couldn't help but ask, "Does Master Shen have any other instructions?" Shen-lang's demeanor suddenly changed. His expression turned serious. "What about Tian-hang? Didn't he want to capture my parents and harm my family yesterday? Today, I want to break his legs." Hearing this, Tian-hang's inner rage flared up once again, his teeth grinding audibly. "This pretty boy has gone too far." Tian-hang fumed, his face red with anger. "He's only been married into the family for 2 days, and he's already trying to walk all over me." His nose flared in rage as he continued, "Unfortunately, Tian-hang has gone to Bailin City and won't be back for a month or 2. Seeing this, Shen-lang knew Tian-hang had no intention of handing the man over. He snorted coldly and prepared to leave. This visit not only bruised Tian-hang's pride, but also earned Shen-lang a hefty sum of 1,100 gold coins. As Shen-lang's carriage departed, Tian-hang furiously smashed a cup, his eyes nearly bulging with rage. He immediately ordered the chair Shen-lang had sat on to be burned. Just then, Tian-hang walked in through the back door, trying to console Tian-hang. "This Shen-lang is so arrogant and overbearing. The Count's mansion will surely punish him. We might soon hear news of his downfall." Tian-hang, grinding his teeth, muttered, "I didn't expect such a useless person to turn his fortunes around so quickly." He then reminded Tianhong to stay indoors for the time being, but before he could finish, a voice came from the doorway. Tianhong, you've returned so quickly, haven't you? Seeing Shen-lang standing there, Tianhong was shocked. Weren't you already gone? Shen-lang replied with a cold laugh. Tianhong, you led people to my house to capture my family. If Jin Zhong hadn't arrived in time, I dread to think of the consequences. Now, crippling your legs wouldn't be too much, would it? Tianhong glared at Shen-lang with a menacing look, his resentment barely concealed. Shen-lang then turned to Tianhong and said, Leader Tian, you said that as soon as Tianhong returned, you would break his legs. Now, do it. Realizing the situation had escalated beyond pretense, Tianhong knew there was no need for further courtesy. Fortunately, I've prepared in advance, he thought. Trading 35% of the earnings from 5 casinos for the Zhang family's support, I'm not afraid of the Count's mansion if things really get out of hand. Tianhong slammed his fist on the table, splitting it in two. At the same time, 2 guards from the Count's mansion immediately drew their swords and stood in front of Shen-lang. Tianhong glared threateningly. Shen-lang, don't push me too far. Shen-lang laughed. When you wanted to harm my entire family, did you consider that going too far? Tianhong suddenly burst into laughter. Shen-lang, you're nothing but a son-in-law acting all high and mighty. Do you think the Count, who cherishes his people like his own children, will spare you? And I'm under the jurisdiction of the Xuanwu city lord. For the Count's mansion to accuse me of any crime would be overstepping. Unmoved, Shen-lang responded darkly, Leader Tian, I'm asking you one last time. Are you willing to break Tianhong's legs? Tianhong sneered. If you're going to do it yourself, or have your guards behind you handle it. Shen-lang cast a probing look at the guards beside him, who then averted their gazes. Seeing this, Shen-lang adjusted his mood and smiled. Leader Tian, it's getting late, and I still need to visit my parents. I'll come again tomorrow. But then Shen-lang's expression darkened. Tomorrow, I will make you break Tianhong's legs in front of me and apologize. After leaving the Black Clothes gang, Shen-lang hurried back home, where his parents were eagerly waiting. His mother rushed to greet him upon his return. After a series of concerned inquiries, Shen-lang had the guards bring the gifts inside and handed the 100 gold coins he had gotten from Tianhong to his father, suggesting they build a new house. However, his father, thinking the money was from the Count's mansion, was reluctant to accept it, fearing gossip. Shen-lang quickly explained, This is money earned from the dye formula. It has nothing to do with the Count's mansion. Rest assured, build a big house. It'll be better for me when I return, and if Mulan comes back with me, we can't possibly stay in this old cottage, right? Only then did his father agree to accept the money. Time with family always seems to pass too quickly, and soon it was evening, time for Shen-lang to return to the Count's mansion. As his family watched him leave, his mother suddenly remembered something. Shen-lang, Big Fool has gotten into trouble. You should check on him. Shen-lang turned his head in surprise. Big Fool was the only friend of Shen-lang's predecessor. Though both were considered fools, Big Fool was exceptionally kind-hearted. Whenever the village children bullied Shen-lang, Big Fool would protect him with his large frame, making their bond as close as brothers. Big Fool was born weighing 12 pounds, and though he often went hungry, by the age of 18, he had grown to over 2 meters tall. Despite his size, he was gentle, innocent, and harmless, never engaging in fights. Big Fool's life had been tough. 3 years after his mother died in childbirth, his father remarried, and since then, he was treated like an outsider, only allowed to sleep on the ground in the yard and eat spoiled cornmeal. If not for his ability to work, he would likely have been driven out by his stepmother long ago. Hearing that Big Fool was in trouble, Shen-lang rushed to his house and pushed the door open. "Where is Big Fool?" he called out as he entered. Shen-lang arrived at Big Fool's house and found only his stepmother and brother present. Unaware that Shen-lang had married into the Count's mansion, Big Fool's stepmother dismissively said, "Big Fool went to work," while covering her mouth with her hand. Seeing this, Shen-lang immediately pulled out a bag of silver coins and said, "Treat Big Fool better from now on." He then asked where Big Fool was. The sight of the money made Big Fool's stepmother's eyes light up, and she quickly promised to treat him better. However, Big Fool's brother looked at his mother with disdain and remarked, "Big Fool is probably lying in a ditch somewhere by now." Hearing this, Shen-lang's expression darkened. He immediately gathered his guards and set out to search the mountains. It wasn't until late at night that they found Big Fool in a deep ditch, barely alive and extremely weak. As Shen-lang approached to check on him, he was relieved to find that Big Fool was still breathing. Hearing the noise, Big Fool slowly opened his eyes. When he saw Shen-lang, he exclaimed weakly, "Second Fool, I've missed you!" Tears filled Shen-lang's eyes as he asked Big Fool how he had gotten so severely injured. After learning the details, Shen-lang was shocked. Big Fool had encountered a tiger in the mountains, and in an attempt to save his brother, he had been injured. Instead of helping him, his family had left him in the ditch, abandoning him. Shen-lang was filled with anger. How could his family be so heartless? He thought to himself, Big Fool's brother mistreats him every day, yet Big Fool still protected him. And now, after saving his brother from danger, he's left here to suffer? Holding Big Fool's hand, Shen-lang said, "Brother, I will make sure you're taken care of, and I won't let your family treat you like this anymore." He asked Big Fool how long he had been left there. Big Fool trembled as he held up his hand, indicating it had been several days. Shen-lang couldn't comprehend how someone could be so cruel. The stepmother's indifference is bad enough, but how could his own father treat Big Fool so terribly? Big Fool, barely conscious, whispered, "Second Fool, I'm not going to make it. I was worried about you, but now that you've become strong, I feel better." Hearing Big Fool still worrying about him in such a state, Shen-lang's eyes filled with tears. He smiled sadly and said, "Who in this world isn't treated unfairly at times? Even now, I still face struggles." But unexpectedly, when Big Fool heard that Shen-lang was having a hard time, he suddenly gathered his remaining strength to protect Shen-lang. Seeing Big Fool's selfless act, Shen-lang was deeply moved. "Big Fool, I'm okay. Please, don't push yourself," he said, signaling the guards to help Big Fool up. Seeing Big Fool, who could barely stand, Shen-lang gritted his teeth and vowed, "Big Fool, you can't give up. I will make sure your family regrets how they've treated you." However, Big Fool, still kind-hearted, said, "Right, I'll let Dad know I'm useful. I can take care of him when he's old." Although touching, Big Fool's concern for his father, even at such a time, left Shen-lang speechless. He then ordered the guards to help Big Fool onto the carriage. Shen-lang didn't return to the Count's mansion, but went straight to Big Fool's home instead. With a stern expression, he entered the house and saw the stepmother and brother eating dinner, lavish dishes spread across their table. Shen-lang coldly confronted them. "You abandoned an injured Big Fool? Do you have no conscience?" The stepmother, munching on her meal, dismissively replied, "We have no money for his treatment. Besides, it's not our fault he's so weak." Big Fool's brother added, "He's nothing but a burden. Losing him wouldn't be a loss, and the same goes for you." Hearing these heartless words, Shen-lang walked straight toward them. Without waiting for their reaction, he flipped the dining table over, scattering the dishes across the floor. Then, swiftly approaching Big Fool's brother, Shen-lang delivered a firm and resolute push, making his point clear.
Come on, you deserve it. You deserve it.
Seeing her son in discomfort, Big Fool's stepmother's expression changed, and she began shouting at Shen-lang. "You think you're something special? You're just a son-in-law. You'll get what's coming to you." Unable to contain his anger any longer, Shen-lang pushed her back, causing her to stumble and fall, drenching herself in a basin of cold water. As she shrieked in frustration, Shen-lang stepped forward, his gaze cold. "You think I'm just the Shu family's son-in-law? Not anymore. Tell your husband when he comes back that I'll be waiting at the Count's mansion and in Xuanwu City for him to confront me." With those final words, Shen-lang turned and left with his guards, leaving the household in disarray. If you enjoyed my narration and found that the images align well with the story, I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Your support means a lot. Thank you.